Hello and welcome to Phoenix Talks with Brenda Wolf and Diane DiBiase, my lovely co-host who's joining us again this week. Oh, we have a great topic for you today. Receiving. Now, what does that mean? Where are we going to go with this? It's something that so many people, if you saw my post on Facebook the other day, it literally makes their head spin when they are receiving. I actually want to start the conversation today with us talking about receiving criticism.
Okay, let's do it. Who's starting, me or you?
One of the things that people have the hardest time with when it comes to receiving is a criticism because they tend to take it a little bit too personally and think that they're not doing that right, which can actually explode in their thoughts to a complete spin and spiral down. Oh my God, I can't do anything right.
Yes, absolutely. When we're criticized, it's usually not coming from a heart-centered space or place or person that doesn't have our best interest at heart, because it wouldn't be criticism if it was coming from somewhere healthier. So understand that you're having trouble receiving it because of the presentation, because it's coming within the packaging of disrespect. So that kind of receiving, I don't blame you for not wanting to receive that. However, I will say it's always helpful and useful to check yourself anyway as part of your learning process of yourself, even if it's to verify and validate yourself further that they got their own little world going on that had nothing to do with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Because
in
you
that
know,
sense,
when somebody is receiving a criticism from somebody else, if you're immediately jumping into the oh my God, they're attacking me mode because you don't receive constructive criticism well, for whatever reason in your life that created this trigger inside, stop for a moment and listen to what they're saying, not how they're saying it, but listen to what they're saying and consider it. Give it a moment to sink in before reaction.
mhm.
Because that far too often we just jump right into reaction mode, and then we just hear one word here, one word there. You're not doing this right, you're not enough. And those are the things that stick
Yes,
and make it difficult to receive what's being given to you, because the feedback, because that's what it is, it's feedback
yes,
when somebody's giving you the criticisms.
yes. I'm gonna add to what you're saying because I'm gonna repeat what you said before. Focus on the what, not the how. And I'm gonna add, you don't have to like the how or accept it. You can set boundaries around the how, but the what part, if you know that it's not something that's obviously not necessary to research within yourself, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like,
Yeah.
you know, if you feel like it's appropriate to research it within yourself, please take the what. That's the piece that is going to help you learn more about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The how and the person and the delivery, you can trash all that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, when somebody is offering the criticism, they will begin with, may I give you feedback? In a perfect world.
Right,
But it ain't. And people are just going to offer it and give it.
right, right. So feedback for me, it falls under a different category. That's like judgment and discernment, you know,
Uh-huh.
criticism and feedback. There's a spectrum for everything. So when it comes to feedback, if you're struggling to receive feedback that is presented in a healthy, factual manner, then you also need to reflect within yourself of why you are struggling to receive something that was delivered to you kindly.
Exactly.
And that, right. That
And
goes
I'll
down.
give an example. I'll give an example because in the Smule world, with all the singers that are in my community that have known me, that I've mentored, they will ask for my feedback. And I warn them, I give them a warning. If you give me permission to offer you feedback, I will be honest. How you receive it is up to you.
Right.
Because you have asked, and that's one part of receiving is if you have asked for that feedback. We're going to jump off this branch shortly, but I just want to wrap this one, in a nice little bow, that if you've asked, take a moment before you get the answer, because it may not be what you wanted or expected to hear. But what you are getting from the other person is a gift. And this is how we're going to segue into other parts of receiving, because receiving means that you are obtaining something from somebody else.
Right.
And I'd like for a large focus of this to be on receiving blessings and gifts.
Absolutely.
Because that's actually a larger issue than criticism.
It really is. It's mind blowing, but it is. So, with that being said, I am one of those people that struggle with receiving gifts and blessings, and I'm practicing though. I am.
It takes a different form of thinking and feeling when you suddenly get something from someone.
Mhm.
You didn't ask for it.
Right.
Let's jump on that limb where
So,
you receive
are
something you didn't ask for that you need.
that you need, right? So that is a gift, and understand that they're a valuable source because that was unsolicited and it was complimentary. And if it's a valuable source, because obviously you have to discern, we're talking about the good stuff and the good people, okay? If you know it's a valuable source, think of it this way. Are you calling them a liar? They're not trying to lie to you. They're pointing out something in you that maybe you're not seeing within yourself. Attempt, please, and practice seeing yourself through their eyes. Just for a moment. No judgment of yourself, none of the trauma that cycles in, the lack of trust, the disbelief, the unworthiness, whatever comes up for you. Just let it come to you. Let yourself see yourself through their eyes. What are they seeing? If you need clarity, I promise you, they would be more than happy to give you the details of why. Just ask.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What did you mean by that? In what way? These are ways you can ask.
Mm-hmm.
No one's
And
ever
this is
told me that.
and all of this is about receiving conversation and receiving the criticism that we were talking about before, but also in the somebody giving freely of themselves to you.
Mhm.
And let's take a dive into your childhood. Okay, just for a moment, even though we really don't need to. But when you're growing up, taught left and right, don't take candy from strangers. Well, how does that translate now to where you have trouble taking candy from someone else? And that candy is in form of information, in the form of monetary gifts, in the form of helping you out.
Right,
How does that translate now?
right. So this might be a good time to talk about the reasons why we struggle to receive, since we're in our childhood right now. And it could be that you had a lot of inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
So there were consequences to receiving. It wasn't from a heart-centered space, and you couldn't trust it. It proved to be untrustworthy.
Yeah.
And you had at that point also convinced, at some point in your life, convinced yourself that there was truth to the criticisms, the unworthiness, the whatever list. There's a big list. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And you
Right.
know, it's funny because while you're describing that, I'm imagining a small child who really wanted something. Imagine whatever that something is for you guys watching. But small child wants something, parents can't provide. Small child talks to somebody else, receives that thing from someone else. Parents react from a selfish place.
Mhm.
They don't mean to, but they do. They're
Right.
just doing their best. Always remember that they're doing their best. And they react from a selfish place. Why did you get that from somebody else when I told you you couldn't have it?
Right.
Now, there are things that fall outside of that description that I had, where it was something that the child really shouldn't have had and found other ways to get it. But the receiving of the scolding
Right.
translates very differently as we grow old, as we grow and mature.
Absolutely. And this translates, I mean, you're using a physical example, physical world example, but this translates in emotional, mental, psychological states of being as well. And the way that that translates is the way it makes you feel. If it's making you feel less than and unworthy and shame in some way and resentment in some other way, if it's making you feel all those lower vibrational emotions, it is not where you want to stay.
No.
You need to start rethinking and reprogramming yourself and analyzing, do I really want to maintain this belief system? Because that's what's translating into your adulthood when you're struggling to receive.
Exactly.
So remember to look at the source, be in the moment, be present with the person. Is your rejection of that from a valid source coming from a place of you're not giving yourself permission to feel safe enough to receive?
Oh
And
yeah.
start working on that.
Oh yeah. Real life story. When I first started offering readings for pay, I was charging, I think, 60 at the time. And one of my first clients, she wound up taking up more than two slots for it and wanted to pay me. And I was like, no, 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 no. Just pay me just pay me the 60. And I told my mentor about it because I felt bad about taking money that I didn't feel like I had earned at that point. But I was talking to my mentor, and one thing that she told me has stuck with me since. If somebody wants to give you a gift, do not rob them of that moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So when somebody, from that moment on, when someone offers me something that I feel like I don't deserve, or that I would be taking from them, something that they can't provide or shouldn't provide me, I ask once. And this is mostly for me because I don't want to rob them of the opportunity to provide. Because if I go out of my way for somebody, I would want the same. Let me do this for you.
Yeah.
Please receive this from me.
Yeah.
And people who know me know that that isn't very common. So if
Yes.
in those rare moments, kind of like this one, are you sure? And this is a way to help yourself feel a little bit safer inside. It helps to shift the feeling of, I don't really want to take from somebody, but damn, I need what they're giving.
Right.
Are you sure?
Right.
Once. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And then just show the gratitude for it afterwards.
Yeah.
Because in those moments where somebody is trying to give something of themselves to you and you push back, you are not only hurting yourself because of what they could be giving you that you actually need
Hmm.
and have in your own way been asking for, by the way.
Hmm.
If we're going to be completely honest, you
Yeah.
have been asking for it anyway, and whoa, here it is right in your face. They're giving it to you now. And you say, no, I can't. No, 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 no.
Yes.
You're hurting them too.
Yeah. And we all do it. I
And we
struggle with
all
that.
do it.
Yes. Or because we're programmed to just immediately refuse and reject when it comes to receiving something that is strictly for us. And that's the other thing too, is you're struggling to receive because you don't feel like it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to you. There's something about receiving that just doesn't make sense to you because it's never been safe to receive.
Right, because you don't trust it.
You need to help yourself through that. And it may be awkward and uncomfortable, but just say thank you. And
Right.
honestly, like I'm not at the part where I'm asking yet. Now I'm still just saying thank you, because like that's the way I got it. I got a cold turkey. Just say thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's so
Now,
awkward and uncomfortable to receive that I just won't make it last any longer. Just say thank you and be over. Let it be over.
now I don't know exactly who this is coming from, if it's anybody who's watching live in the chat or watching in the replay, or if it's just something that's out in the ether. But when we are receiving something from somebody else that they are giving of their own free will, we are also programmed of reciprocity.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That because they gave us something, that there will be a later expectation that we do the same.
Correct.
Now, while that's a beautiful idea and beautiful should, it is a beautiful should, because somebody helped you out, you should turn around and help them back.
Yes.
That's a beautiful should. However, it does make it difficult to receive without expectation attached.
Right.
Yours,
Right.
whether it is theirs or not, yours.
Right. So you're judging yourself if you think that you're supposed to immediately reciprocate in the same way, when that is not where the energy of the giver is at. So that's a programmed belief. So check in with yourself and use your discernment, get to know things a little bit with the person, the energy wise, get to know yourself and that where that person is coming from so that you could feel when you do need to reciprocate, because you have to maintain a balanced exchange of energy, yes. However, not to the detriment of the gift
Right.
and the giver. So allow yourself to let it breathe for you. And if you struggle with it, just do it cold turkey and say thank you, and then go run away. And to be honest with you, I will process it later. I'm not ready in that moment. I need time to let it sink in, and for me to like check my boxes and like calculate. I'm actively struggling with receiving. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I mean, I know people who have such an issue with receiving something from somebody else that they can only receive one thing at a time. Try and do anything else for them, especially if it's in close proximity of time.
Yes.
Shut down. they can't handle it. And you look at them and you're like, what, wait, what, I'm trying, and you're, what?
Yeah. So the core belief there is unworthiness.
Right.
That's what needs to be addressed and loved and nurtured and reversed. You can
Checking the
receive
chat.
when you feel worthy.
Yeah, I'm checking the chat right now. I happen to look down and see, poof.
I love it.
All right, in chat we have a couple comments um, talking about the programming. I mean, we have Hildy. Hello, Hildy again. So glad you're here. Parents taught me that I should be ashamed to accept something from someone else. Shame on them for teaching you that.
Hildy, I'm right there with you. I grew up where, like, if we went to go visit someone's house, I was required to refuse everything because it was considered rude if I received anything. I would get in trouble for receiving a gift. It was considered rude in my culture.
And then we have DJ Carrie. Shout out to you. Hope you're feeling better soon. Her parents give the gifts and then make you feel guilty for taking them. Some people, and
These
I
are
say
great examples.
some people, and I say this with love, I just want to.
I know. These are awesome
Why
examples.
are you doing this to your children?
Right.
Why are you putting this programming into their minds, into their hearts?
Right.
Because you're not helping them. Anybody who is a current parent or looking to become a parent, please heed these words. Please, for the betterment of your child's existence, making them feel guilty because they are receiving something or because you're giving them something. Mm-hmm. No, stop it. Please. Yeah. For them, stop it. Not for you, for them, because later on, them having the ability and capability of receiving even just a kind word from somebody else, right, can have such an impact of guilt. You don't know. You really don't know.
Right. Absolutely.
It's such a great topic. I'm so glad because, because Diane came up with this topic, and when she first presented it, I was half asleep, and I'm like, "What the hell is she talking about?" And then, so I didn't receive the message well. So, and it wasn't because I wasn't in the place to receive. I was just like, "What is she? I don't understand." And then it hit me, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is such a juicy topic."
Yes.
Yes. I could jump on this one for hours.
And I'm still deprogramming myself from all those. It took me till adulthood to accept a glass of water when I went to visit someone's house. Like, that's the level of toxic damage it does.
Exactly.
So it takes the understanding that it's unhealthy and the choice, the decision to give yourself permission to try something different. And ask yourself, why is it so bad to receive when it's coming from a trusted, valid source that has proven already consistent?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And you feel safe and cared for. You know when it's safe to receive. It's you that's stopping yourself from receiving it. Now, that doesn't mean you don't take it. You could take it, but now let's take it a step deeper. You can accept a gift, no problem, in any way.
Right.
But are you receiving it in your heart? The intention that they had to give to you, why they felt you were worthy of giving to, allowing yourself to feel that worth that they see in you, allowing that to breathe in some life into you and replenish your soul a little bit. That type of receiving.
Exactly.
Because that's what we're talking about, really.
And I'm going to have to continue talking because I need to step off camera to help with that point. I'll be right back.
All right, that's awesome. We're gonna have a show and tell. But yes, So to dig deeper into yourself, allow yourself to see yourself through their eyes. That's how. And please ask questions. If you get clarification questions, then you have something to look at within yourself.
Exactly. And you were talking about when you receive a gift to feel what went into that gift, what was put behind that gift. So I looked up and I've held on to this probably for, I don't know, 6, 7 years. I've lost count of how long ago it was, but I held on to this.
Oh,
Okay.
who made that?
A small child,
I could tell.
one of my employees' daughters made this. And she
Oh,
was so proud of it, and she handed it to me. I have some other paintings of hers that she
you
had given,
thought you were special.
but it was like, oh my God. And I have held on to it because there was heart put into it. Now, I
That's so
actually,
awesome.
the feeling and the energy, I actually want to take this to a higher level because you and I both, I mean, I'm a heightened awareness coach now, and I want us to take it to a higher level
Mhm.
where somebody puts a lot of love into what they have made or done for you. When that's presented, you know it
Yes.
without a doubt. Now, you may know it, you still might push back against it because you don't feel like you're worthy of it, but you still feel it. You may even tear up,
Yes.
like, oh my God, that type of thing.
So the question I have is, do you tear up and disappear, or do you tear up and express gratitude and allow them to see your grace, your gratitude?
Me personally, I'll cry in front of them. I don't care.
Me too. I'm a show you. I appreciate you. I used
There,
to
there was there
run
was one
away.
time last year I received a gift from somebody and I almost passed out on the floor uh, because it was given with love. And
Oh,
but I totally get that. Now,
yeah.
that's the good side of it. That's
Yeah.
that's that's the pretty side of receiving a gift from somebody, knowing that they gave it to you in love. Now, somebody gives you something because they feel you expect it, you feel it. Somebody gives you something and there's an attachment to it of reciprocation later down the line, you feel it.
Feel it. That's right. Yes,
If
you do.
somebody gives it to you to make you feel guilty, you feel it.
Feel
If
it.
somebody gives it to you and shames you because they had to give it to you feel it.
Everything. Yes,
It is on an energetic level because it hits home.
it does.
It's on an emotional level because you know the tone, you know the words, you know the actions.
Mhm.
Your perception is so much higher than you give yourself credit for. But
Yeah.
and you feel it, you know it. So that's another reason why so many people have trouble receiving because so many times they've received from somebody else in this energetic way.
Right. Right. So use
I'm
your,
giving this to you now. I expect something in return. I'm giving this to you, so I don't understand why you can't get this for yourself, but I'm going to give this to you.
right. So you know,
Exactly.
you have to trust yourself. You don't have to trust who it's coming from. You have to trust yourself. Trust what you're feeling, and you'll know that it's safe. And when you know that it's safe, allow yourself to open up your heart to it. Allow
Mm-hmm.
yourself to give them the gift of seeing your excitement and joy and emotion of receiving their gift to you because they
Right.
put a lot of time, effort, and energy because they truly care for you. Not
Exactly.
because They had to. So because you know the difference, thank you for reminding everyone that they feel it.
Now, you know, my intuition and guides also like to speak up. They wanted me to remind everybody about Coyote because Coyote likes to give gifts too.
Okay.
And what I mean when I refer to Coyote is the people who have mastered the art of disguise
Mm.
and make you feel. We're seeing a lot of this in AI now, and
Yeah.
people are mistaking that energetic love and compassion and getting scammed.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
can we maneuver through that?
That's
That's a hard one.
it is. It is. And the how to maneuver through that is to learn what the red flags are. And this is part of doing that work. That's conscious awareness of self and self-love and healing yourself and shifting into healthier perspectives. That's really how you can protect yourself because you are not able to see the red flags and the signs and set the boundaries if you don't do the work to learn what they are and how to identify them in your experience.
Right.
That's how you're going to help yourself navigate through that. And it I want you to, because this is what I am actively practicing. Not easy, it's very uncomfortable. But actively practice allowing yourself and really it's almost like I'm going to talk about me for a minute.
Cool.
I literally have to convince myself to do this consciously and put my focus on the the source is valid, the this, the that, it's okay, I feel good, the whole check everything right now is where I'm at. I have to actually physically do this for myself in order to feel okay, I can trust myself. Trust myself. Why wouldn't I trust myself? I already trust myself, but here I am not trusting myself when somebody says something nice. What does that tell you about my life? You know what I mean? So it's
Well,
like, woo, okay, we're gonna open ourselves up then. It's okay.
think about a warehouse.
Hmm.
Every warehouse has a receiving manager. And that receiving manager's job is to look at the invoice, check off every single item,
Hmm.
just like you do, before payment is given for the goods. Same thing.
Yes.
That's why we didn't give receiving a different name in
Yeah.
those settings, because it's to make sure that we're getting what we need.
Right.
Now, in your checklist, make sure that part of that is how can I use this? Because sometimes what we receive is like how we started off,
Yeah.
where we receive the negative. Because that's another part of this, receiving negative. We've been all positive, fluffy bunny. But how do you deal with receiving negative?
From a healthy source or an unhealthy source? Because there's
Yes,
different responses. Both.
yes.
Okay.
Because sometimes the response is the same, whether it's an unhealthy or a healthy source.
That's
Because
true.
sometimes the response is the same.
That's true. Sometimes you're still rejecting no matter what. So with an unhealthy person, it's okay to say no, thank you. No, thank you. That's okay. And if they throw you a compliment, say, you can say thank you. You just leave it go or don't say anything. Whatever. Just if you don't want it from that source, you have free will. This is when you can actively choose to reject.
Yep.
You know what it feels like when you're receiving it from someone healthy, who
Yeah.
means it. You can feel it in your heart. Just take it. If you're not ready to receive it fully and deeply in front of them, then just give them as much as you can and go home and cry about it and
Right.
let yourself feel how loved you are.
Yeah.
That's how you walk through it.
I mean, receiving the negative means that you are giving them permission,
Right.
make you feel a certain way. What have I said about that in the past? No one can make you feel any way you don't give them permission to.
Mhm. Right.
Truly, the way that we react, the way that we respond to what we receive, whether it be a gift, a word, a sentence, a criticism, money, the way that we react, the way that we respond, that's what matters.
Right. Right. And in either circumstance, healthy or unhealthy, you have to maintain a level of observation, that neutral level of observation, so that you can allow yourself to discern.
Mm-hmm.
If you're triggered immediately, it's an obvious unhealthy, and it's up to you to set the boundary or say no thank you or whatever. You got to figure that one out. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
When it's healthy, you can allow yourself to add this to your, I'm going to get through this one today. If I'm going to accomplish something today, I'm going to do this, because this replenishes and you want that on your checklist of things that you can do for yourself today.
Yep.
Give yourself that gift.
We don't have a show after today, so we can go a little bit longer.
I was looking at the time.
I don't. Carrie, I know that you're in the audience today, and I pray that you feel a little bit better. And we're gonna have fun later on tonight. Over on Rise Radio, got a pop up coming up at 9 p.m. Anyway, I want to talk about one last thing,
Okay, let's do it.
and this is for anybody who prays, anyone who sets out an intention, anyone who practices law of attraction, anyone who tries to manifest something in their life. You're going to receive an answer. You're going to receive something.
Mhm.
It is going to happen. But, and that even if you are 100% detailed down to the gnat's butt about what it is that you want, be ready to receive something completely unexpected
Yes.
in response.
Yes. So receiving and gratitude go hand in hand when it's a good receiving. Well,
Yeah.
any receiving, but it gratitude will actually help you receive more gifts, because you mentioned the laws of attraction.
Yeah. Truth, 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 truth.
Yep. So they go hand in hand. So the more gratitude you have, we love gratitude. Attitude is the best one to have. So let's maintain that.
Yeah. And that could be a whole nother conversation. Not next week. I'm hearing some other things, but we
Ready?
talk so much about gratitude here and there that it's kind of found its way on the branches.
It has
It really has.
every branch.
I mean, the smallest things. I mean, you receive the gift every time you wake up. You receive the gift of life every time you inhale and exhale. What are you doing with it?
And on that note, are you receiving the gifts from spirit?
Yes.
Because there's gifts out there if you're willing to open your eyes to them and see that they are there. You dismiss a lot of stuff because you're programmed to dismiss a lot of stuff because you're programmed to believe that you get nothing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that being said,
Yep.
make sure you're receiving your gifts from the universe. For me, when I go hiking or out into nature, there's always some part of nature, some random place that's shaped like a heart. So I get hearts from, that's my answer. And it's usually exactly when I need to get it, when there's stuff going on that I'm working on. And it's exactly the right moment.
Right.
That's what I get when I go hiking. So like see if you have examples of synchronicities in your life. Synchronicities are gifts from spirit.
Yep.
Pay attention to those.
Yep. And those random thoughts, typically that don't sound like you, they're not random, by the way. Especially if you're receiving them in a moment of question.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many times we'll be trying to figure out something. Your periphery catches something. What was that? Your mind wanders, hears a different voice. No, you're not schizophrenic. If you hear other voices, it's your thoughts and yours alone. Spirit speaks to you using your voice and sometimes alters it a little bit to get you to pay attention. If you have a random thought about how to do something or that you should be doing something when, and yeah, I just shoot it on you. But if you get one of these random thoughts and it takes your attention away from where you're at in your mental, take a look. You're receiving what you asked for. You asked for the answer.
Yeah.
Oh, it's over there.
Yes.
Or is
That's
it here?
a whole different level of receiving because now we're talking about receiving your intuition, you know, which is
Yes.
the crown chakra, but because for me it's like, you know, an influx of data dumps. So that level of receiving, I think feeling worthy and trust have to be on a similar plane when it comes to receiving.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know you're worth it. You have to know to trust yourself and your intuition and what you feel in order to allow yourself to receive what you're receiving from spirit,
Right.
other frequencies, and see what you're seeing. If you hear what you hear and whatever, go through the clair abilities if you want.
And you know,
In many ways.
you just spawned a memory. Recent one. I've been watching a program 911 Lone Star, and one of the main characters in the storyline had just lost her husband. And fast forward several months, and it's their anniversary. Now the lights in the house have been flickering when especially around the kids, and they noticed it first, and they were flickering one, 4 times, 3 times. Now, I knew immediately where this storyline was headed at that point, because 143 back in beeper age meant I love you.
Oh,
So I was like,
oh
okay,
my
I see
God, what
where
a
this
memory.
is going. I see where this is going. And then the same character gets a 911 call that she has to answer at a psychic's. And the psychic said, you're receiving messages that you're not listening to.
Ooh.
I was so proud of ABC for putting this on. And
Right?
The message was for her to, on their anniversary or would-be anniversary, to make his favorite meal,
Oh,
light some candles, and have a conversation with him as if you were there.
yeah.
And right before she made the whole dinner, the babysitter of the daughters said, "Oh, well, we found out why the lights were flickering. There was a mouse that was chewing on the wires." So she started to doubt a little bit,
Yeah.
just a little bit, but she was like, "No, I'm going to do this. I need this for me." So she makes the meal, sits down, and she's trying to have a conversation with her deceased husband, and you can tell that she's starting to feel sillier and sillier, and she's like, "Fine. I don't know what I was thinking." She gets up, she blows out the candles. There were three of them. And she turns around. The cat meows in the background, causing her to turn around and look. The candles were relit.
That's great.
Receiving.
Yes, that was the confirmation
Yes.
because the we are oh, I'm so glad you brought this example up. We are programmed to dismiss, negate, invalidate. That's what we're programmed to do. I will remind, well, maybe people are hearing this for the first time. We still live in this human world, on this human plane. We still have to abide by the human physical plane limitations. Spirit, the vibration cannot maintain on this plane, so they need to utilize this physical plane to divinely synchronize and orchestrate events to unfold for you to have experiences.
Yes.
They don't have a choice.
And they don't have the same timeline. It doesn't
Right.
exist.
It's no different than me seeing a heart-shaped rock or a leaf right at the right moment.
100%.
It's still on this physical plane, and they're utilizing this physical plane to give me something. It's no different than utilizing a mouse to chew a wire.
Exactly.
You doubted it, and you were given that extra gift of, all right, well then let's light the candles. There's no mice lighting involved with that, you know. It's you needed the validation, or whoever that was needed the validation.
And across the board of beliefs, because I know that a lot of people, as soon as this kind of conversation starts to happen, are like, they want to do pushback because it starts to get uncomfortable for them because, oh, well, they're talking about spirit, they're talking about universe. Well, let me tell you something. Doesn't matter what you believe, doesn't matter what book you look in. There's going to be a reference of signs that people receive.
Yes.
Across the board, and it's from a higher power that no one can see.
Right.
And there are things that are done for you from a higher power that you cannot see.
Yes. And it doesn't matter what title it holds, it's the same creator source energy.
Yes. So receive that message. I shame no one for what they believe.
Mm-mm.
No, it's not my style.
Yeah, well, there is no, I mean, it's all the same love. It's just love.
Yes.
Source is love. God is love. If you want to put that label on, what it doesn't matter. It's all the same loving source energy that is orchestrating everything and synchronizing everything for your benefit.
Yes.
100%.
And like a receiving manager, we have to put a label on it so that we know who and what we're receiving.
Yes. Yes.
How's that for a metaphor?
I received all of it. This is such a great conversation, Micah.
It really is. I've been excited about it all week long.
Yay. Thanks.
Since I received what it was actually about. And up until about 2 minutes ago, we've had a nice viewing crowd in our live chat, and thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
I received that so well, and I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying this as much as we are, because receiving is such an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And even if it's something that does have attachment from someone else, you're still receiving something good later on because there was a message
Right.
and a lesson
You're
that
still
could be
learning
taken from it. You're still learning about yourself.
Yeah.
You're still learning about life. And if you're not learning about life each and every single day, then your journey is about to come to an end.
You got to keep moving forward. Got to feel it to heal it. You got to get through it to get to it. Let's go.
There is no end to the journey.
Nope.
There are, towns that you want to visit and have a stay in for a little while. Some are really lush and have all these great things going on. And, then I'm sick of there. And then you pick up, you kind of move on. And
yes,
there's a constant when you receive
yes,
the end goal of what it is that you're trying to achieve, then you're left with, well, now what?
when you receive, you get more of it. That's
And
right.
when you're grateful for it, it just keeps on coming.
It
may not be how you want it, may not be what you expect, it may not be, the answer.
Right.
But it is an answer.
It is. This was such a great conversation.
Really was. and I think that that's a good spot to leave, because we gave everyone a lot to unpack and a lot to think about.
Yes,
and I can feel that some people are going to watch this a few times.
I hope so.
So again, thank you everyone for tuning in to Phoenix Talks. We had such an amazing time, and we're so happy that you are traveling on this journey with us. We'll be back next week, same time, same YouTube channel, with who knows what topic. We'll figure it out sometime between now and then. And
we'll receive it.
Yes, we will receive it, and we will share it.
We will share it. We will give it.
So much love to all of you. Make it a great week and keep going. Yeah. You're worth it.
Yes, you are. Yay! Bye.
As soon as it